Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Moscow region. Yes, I'm nowhere near Moscow today, but I thought I'd show you a very, very Russian typical supermarket, and it's right behind me. Now you can definitely tell I'm out in the suburbs here by just having a look at a few of the buildings close by. And have a look at this one right in front of me here. This is very nice. And now, I'd call this 3 levels, but most people in Russia call this a 2-level building because the first floor is already level 1 when you walk in, but such a nice finish on this building, and it's also fully brick built, which is a little bit not traditional for a lot of the apartments in this part of Moscow region where I am here. You can see right across a couple of the panel style buildings, and there's one over here with the concrete panel finish over here and the pebble dash. And then there's one over here where they've kind of done the first level with brick, and the rest will be panels and then finished with a fascia on it. But we really are out in the suburbs here. Kind of interesting just looking at some of the cars in the car park right outside here. We've got the very well-known Cherry Exceed, the Chinese car, and then a couple of Russian-built Renaults right here. They actually had the Renault factories in Moscow region until just recently. Renault Logan was probably much the sort of standard car or family sedan car that was kind of all over Russia. And then now you see that changing of the guard with the Russian cars now becoming Chinese. So let's go check out Pyaterochka here, or 5. Pyet is 5 in Russian, and Pyaterochka now. This particular chain of supermarkets across Russia, there is 19,000 locations. So for this not to be typical, I really don't know what is. This is as typical as it comes now. Actually, even within walking distance of this one, there's 2 more of them. These are what they call, oh, здравствуйте. These are what they call close to home supermarkets. They're very, very famous throughout all of Russia. Actually, one more Chinese car right here, this Omoda. It kind of looks a little bit like a Land Rover style Chinese car, but it's not. Let's head on inside Pyaterochka, shall we? So this particular store is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. till 11:45 p.m. every day of the week. So again, this is about as typical as they come. And if you want a job, tear off one of those with the phone number, give them a call. So we're going to head on inside and check it out. Now, there is actually shopping baskets in this store. There's not typically shopping baskets in most Pyaterochkas because they're a little bit smaller than this one. But this particular location is actually really big. And check this out, there's a flower shop right in the entrance. This sort of glass paneling back here is actually kind of a cool room for the flowers, so it extends the life. So, man, if you're in a bit of trouble, you come and grab some flowers while you come to the convenience store and have a look at the little miniature ones for the kids. Miniature trolleys. And let's head on inside now. This particular Pyaterochka, I've actually been into this before. I know this location very well. It's actually a very big version of the Pyaterochkas. And they've even got coffee right here at the front. And you can get yourself, depending on which size you want, 49.99 or 89.99 rubles. So less than $1 for a coffee. And basically take it for a walk around the store. So you can see how big this place is and how much bigger than my local one this is. This is actually probably 3 or 4 times the size. So it's very impressive. And they've even got like a seasonal fridge right here at the front with some of the weekly specials. So Pyaterochka is very well known for having promotions, sort of weekly promotions, and they've got a card that you can use that will get you extra discount or points for other shopping. And this really is a supermarket sized Pyaterochka. The one where I live is very much a convenience store type one. All the sausages right here and bolognas. Now there is a word that they use in Russia a lot, doctor's sausage. Now I always wonder if the doctor is recommending you eat the sausage or not, but there is even more of it over here. Now, one of the coolest things about this particular Pyaterochka is this bakery right here. Now, these are what's called par-baked breads, so they're actually produced off-site, and then they're actually cooked to 80%, and then they're snap frozen, and then they're sent to the store, and they've actually got these ovens in the back. It's probably a little bit hard to see them. I wonder if I can get a little bit of a higher sort of view right here. And there's a lady back there, she just sort of scrambled off. That prepares all of this, and when you walk in the store, this is all that you smell, is this essentially fresh bread. And these different danishes and scrolls, and there's these mini pizzas. Now, probably what made my channel so well known initially when I did one of my first few videos was showing this garlic bread right here. 49.99 rubles for a stick of garlic bread, and it's absolutely delicious. And if you're lucky, you can get it hot out of the oven. I've also got kind of fairly large, I wouldn't even call it a mini pizza, for 60 rubles. Now I will put a few prices up on the screen so you can kind of check it out, and then we'll just have a bit of a general walk around and see what we can see. So you can see why you'd need a shopping trolley, just based on how big this store is. And then what used to be the Coca-Cola fridge. Pretty sure they've just took off the stickers from the Coca-Cola fridge, but all of the used to be Coca-Cola items are in here. So Dobra Cola, Pulpy is also one of the brands from Coca-Cola. So actually we'll see just ahead of us here the blue fridge. And I wonder if you can recognize what brand that blue fridge would be. Here's all the butters, cheeses, mayonnaise, and then the fish. I pointed this out in another video that everybody loves these crab and crab substitutes in Russia, and they're all fairly reasonably priced that you can just grab them as a snack. And right across here, the chocolate section. Probably the most famous, probably more exported chocolate that anybody takes on a holiday with them or for a gift to somewhere in the world is the Ilonka brand from the Red October factory here. But Alpine Gold is my chocolate of choice up here. And actually, if Milka was a little bit better priced, Milka's gone up in price a lot in the last sort of year. So even though it's on special now, 89 rubles. So yeah, this is the other fridge over here, the blue one. And if this looks familiar, this would have been the Pepsi fridge. But you can see Lipton Ice in there. So, or let's call it Lipton. I call it Lipton Ice, but Lipton. So this convenience style supermarket has that kind of mix of things. So you'll see here these kind of cooler fridges here. Got some beer in there, some juices, bottled water. So you might just sort of pop in just for one can of beer and off you go. And biscuits galore. And they've even got these kind of pick and mix ones here with my kind of favorites in there, Bounty. These, not too sure if it's Cadbury's anymore, or Mondelez, I think that company might be. And then all the long life milks. So it does have all of the traditional aisles right here, kind of very much like any normal supermarket around the whole world. But remember, this is kind of, it's a supermarket, then it's a convenience store, and then it's that close to home supermarket that they like to call this close to home. You see all this candy by weight here. So if you want to have a bit of nostalgia from your childhood, come and grab one of the kind of original Russian or Soviet chocolates. Maybe you don't want that Mars and Bounty any longer. Kids baby food. And there's all the jarred ones. Heinz baby food there. 53 rubles, that sort of smaller jar. And there's all the kids kind of sippy drinks here and milks and different things. Now this isn't my actual Pyaterochka where I live. The one where I live, I've got one around about a 3-minute walk from my house. This is quite a fair way from where I live, but I was kind of walking through here and I thought, good opportunity to make a video of this location just to show you how big this Pyaterochka really is. So continuing walking around, they've got the dairy section here. And I do like these fridges now. They didn't have this in the past in most of the Pyaterochkas, but now they've got these glass doors on the fridges, which help keep the things colder, of course. And they're much more efficient as well. The old open door style ones, which they had everywhere, were not really overly practical. Loads and loads of yogurts. And pretty much most of them are under 50 or 60 rubles. Activa, I always get these names mixed up. 40 rubles right there for a kind of classic yogurt. And then I'm always interested in this with eggs and how they have the eggs out of the fridges. Because in Australia we've got eggs in fridges in most stores that you go to. And then some stores they don't, but this particular store here in Russia has them right on the shelf as they come. And then all of the pastas, rice, these are the instant noodles. Probably a lot of things look fairly familiar, but this doesn't, you know, I'm not trying to show you something that's radically different here in Russia, but just the close to home supermarket that literally you can walk out of your apartment from and walk right into a store like this. And we've got the sugar. These are the, how much is this one? Half a kilo of sugar right here is 50 rubles. And then the cooking oils. Let's have a look. The fairly kind of classic one. This one is 90 rubles. That one's 650 milliliters for 90 rubles. And then there's some olive oils up there, and then all of the sauces and different things that you can put in your soups and cooking generally, all the sachet stuff. So lots of stuff in this one store. Walking around a little bit further here, we've got lots of the seeds and nuts and dried fruits. These are hugely popular. You can kind of get a bowl of these, have a couple of beers, and you're all good. And have a look at this. I found some more canned food beyond peas and corn. There's some canned fruits here, which is kind of interesting. You don't see them everywhere in Russia, but you know, they're available. Down the bottom here's all of the pickled vegetables, pickled gherkins, Здравствуйте. And then all of the, not really a tourist, I live here tourist. It's all of the fish and tunas. So I just stopped for a chat there with the gentleman working in the store there, and it's kind of interesting. He's curious about the video I'm making, all the different waters and cool drinks. I think we've seen that a lot on videos, so I can whiz past it. This is Andrei.
Hello.
Привет. Hello.
Hello, Australia.
And the world.
Yes, of course.
Andrei is a super happy person. For someone, it's always interesting, right? If you go to your local supermarket or store, do you get people with big smiles like you seem to get in Russia here? All the milk, and then the kefir. Here's the classic bottle of milk down here, 68 rubles for 930 mils. So I've shown this in a lot of videos that it's not quite a liter, and that shrinkflation, the word that I've heard a lot. And then the beer section's kind of interesting here. They've got beer, chips, beer, and beer snacks right in the middle. So, and my bottle of Stella is right there waiting for me. And Budweiser, it's a classic bottle of Budweiser for 70 rubles. And it looks like Andrea's got plenty of work to do here on putting out all this pallet of the drinks. I'm pretty sure Andre's on this pallet of drinks because it's all the heavy stuff, which is completely understandable. All the men do all the heavy lifting in the store. All the different beers. Again, this is very well known. It's a single canned or bottles of beer. And then you've got the bigger kind of litre and a half sizes here. These are all in plastic containers. And then around the back here is all the alcohol and all these Alka Pops. I call them Alka Pops. I'm not sure if anyone has another name for them. Seth and Riley's Garage. I don't know this brand, but 75 rubles. Hard lemonade is what it's got written on the front there. One thing that's interesting in this store is the alcohol is a fair way from the register, which is way off in the distance there. And there's obviously a big trust factor with people buying things and paying for them. And that's the one thing that is kind of what I like about shopping in these stores in Russia is that, you know, not everything has to be hidden behind the register. You know, I mean, it probably could be closer to the register so there's a better eyesight, but it's not necessary. There's quite a fair big wine selection in this store as well. Again, this is a Pyaterochka that I know and I've shopped here before, but it's not my local one or the closest one to where I live. So it's not a store that I'd come to because I've got a store right in my building. You might have seen other videos where I've shown the local ones. There is 3 Pyaterochkas within walking distance of where I live. So do I need to go to a different one? Not really. I can find all this in my local store. This is just a bigger kind of layout of the shop. All of the cat food. So these sachets of cat food. Let's have a look here. The kind of classic whiskers for 24 rubles. So there's a few more brands. If you watched the Cizhik video from yesterday, and depending on when you're watching this video, you may not know about it, but I pointed out in Cizhik that they've only got 2 brands of most products, whereas in here, they've essentially got, what, about 8 or 9 brands of cat food. So you've got more than enough choices. And there's even a fairly big frozen section here as well. Plenty of frozen shrimps. You want to make a nice shrimp soup. You can actually get it by weight as well. So there's actually a scoop right there. And you scoop it whatever you like by weight rather than buying sort of something pre-packaged. And then, fortunately, there is some of us in Russia that need processed food. So there is one door of things like fish fingers, chicken nuggets. There's some lasagna right there. So there is some unhealthy food in Russia, but you can sort of notice that the frozen section doesn't really get shopped very much, but it's definitely here if you need it. Chips, cakes. This is my favorite. I just call these circles. Someone who's from Russia will have to tell me what the name of they are, but essentially it's a pastry with a kind of a cream filling. I just call them circles. I'm sure they've got another name. So as I walk around this back section of the bakery here, there is some packaged pastries here. These are all the ones with the different fruits in. These are actually brought into the store. They're not baked and cooked in-house. These are all the breads that will be bought from a local bakery somewhere in Moscow region. And the good thing about these, the reason why I buy these a lot, they're just half loaves. So you don't have to buy a whole loaf of bread. Just buy a half loaf and it's more than enough for 2 or 3 days or however many days you want it. You can see here the guys just coming in looking for something from this bakery section. It's very nice choices. I like this kind of concept here in Pyaterochka. I really hope you're enjoying this walk around here in Pyaterochka. I thought I had to come and make a video about this particular location. So much was made of my first one, which is the one closer to where I live, that I've got to come and show you this full line version of this store. And then have a look at these Lay's chips I've shown this in a few videos and the amount of different Lay's flavors in Russia. And I've just noticed another, maybe new flavor of Lay's, mango flavor. Or is it kind of a sweet mango flavor? This could be an interesting one to try. Now I kind of feel like the video is getting a little bit long because I'm really sort of showing all aspects of this store, but this is a very nice supermarket to come to, and you can literally do your entire week shopping. One thing that I get a lot of comments about in the many videos that I've made about the stores is people don't have full baskets, they don't have, you know, armloads of food, but very, very typically, and this is where the word typical comes in a lot, people come shopping just for a couple of days worth of food. They might even just buy things for today, for tonight, for tomorrow. See here all the fruits and vegetables. Let me scooch by here. Lots of people coming and going in this store, so I'm trying to not get everybody in the video because some people don't want to be in the video. You know, I'm not kind of trying to show you an empty store at the same time. Here is the potatoes, carrots, everything that we're kind of used to in most convenience stores. Again, there's more snacks everywhere in the store. These are all the ones that are by weight. If you want to make yourself a salad, you can get all the different greens and leaves here. And then there's some more pickled vegetables up the top here. These jars of the gherkins are very nice. And lots of types of lettuce, and these are kind of designed just for a day or two's use. That's why they're in smaller packaging. Lots of choices of mushrooms. I never knew there were so many choices. This is the one that I normally buy. Here is 95 rubles for 400 grams. That's my usual mushrooms that I buy in the store when I come in here. This is kind of interesting towards the front here. So on this left-hand side is all the different fruits. So bananas, oranges, apples. So they've even got pomegranates there as well. And then they've also got these different nuts, raisins. There's the dates right there. I'm not sure what these big stone ones are, but pretty sure you need one of those nutcrackers for those. Anyone knows what they're called? All these different, I know my wife likes these sorts of things. I'm not a big fan of them personally. I'd rather get a bar of chocolate, unfortunately. Not something as healthy as dried fruits. And there's even kind of the Promotional Island here with all the cleaning stuff. So the way you know what's on special, these sort of big yellow signs are kind of the promotional things. So they want you to scan your Pyaterochka card right there to get the lower price, which 99.9% of people will have. It's not something that you need to ask somebody for. Pretty much you've got one because this is where you come to the most often. And then have a look back here. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 registers in this supermarket. So plenty of chance to check out. And it's kind of interesting that although it feels like a kind of convenience store, it's got that supermarket feel to it. And just how busy it is kind of walking around. Now, as I just went to leave the store here, the lady at the register here, not this lady, the other lady here, she recognized me because she was working at the other Pyaterochka. And what did I buy? My favorite garlic bread. Yes, all the stuff here. Now want to get themselves on the video. And imagine she recognized me from the other store. And Andrei is here again. He's filled up all these drinks and he's on the register. So leave a comment, everybody. Do you want to see Andrei in more videos? Maybe he can help me out with a tour of one of the stores one time. So thanks, everybody. Okay, so as I walk out the store, bye. It's so interesting that one of the staff members recognized me from one of the other stores because they must see thousands and thousands of people per day in these shops. But for sure, this one, because it's such a busy, kind of bigger store. So just so nice that everybody's so friendly. This is not just me making the video and this kind of coming like this. pretty much most Pyaterochkas that you go to, especially if it's the local one where you live, you know, they get used to seeing you, they're happy, they're smiling. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, I don't think any reason to give it a thumbs down today. Maybe you can give it a breadstick up because of how interesting the video was. Okay everybody, I'm gonna try the ending one last time. I just actually had a chat to Andre. He came out for a couple of minutes break. Super nice guy, speaks very good English. We were just chatting about the story. He's actually not from this town. He's from the other side of Russia. And he's come to Moscow in search of fame and fortune. I think everybody thinks that's what's gonna happen when they come to Moscow, but very, very nice guy, Andre. Thank you so much for having a chat. I'm sure you're gonna get in trouble for chatting with me outside too long. I got myself a Dobra cola. It's actually really nice weather today. So I put another video for you to watch right after this one. Don't forget, if you want to say hello to Andre, put it in the comments so he'll have a look at it. He asked me just now, when's the video going to be on the channel? And I'm hoping today or tomorrow, so let's see. Yeah, there's another video for you to watch right after this. You can maybe take a look at an older video on the channel. And I'm actually heading on home. I'm not going to go for another adventure today, as I always say at the end. I'm going to go home, relax. I've actually had a fairly long day already today, so I'll catch you in another video. Bye, everybody.